So I made a video recently implying that I don't really support heterosexual marriages. Now, I believe that people should be able to engage in straight marriages, but I just see so many blatant flaws that are just consistently defended that really just make you ask the question, are the straight people okay? Because often it just really seems like they're not, or they're just promoting things that ain't nobody should be promoting. And I feel like this ad that I came across for purpose-driven coaching on Facebook that's supposed to help people like save their marriages, I think that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Don't get me wrong, if you're married and you value marriage, I'm not saying you should just be looking for reasons to get out of it whenever things get uncomfortable. But there are times when divorce and or separation are good. So I'm skipping a couple paragraphs to get to the nitty-gritty here. Maybe our story will give you hope here. We went through just about everything bad a marriage can go through quadruple times over. Okay, so if you want to coach people through a marriage, don't get me wrong, if you've never had any issues in your marriage, I don't think you can provide quite the same level of advice to people. So I do think it's helpful if you've been there, but everything they list is just an example of you should be divorced. You shouldn't be married and out here telling people how to stay married. You need to recognize when it's bad enough that it's time to go. An insane number of affairs, physical and emotional. Okay? I'm gonna stop you right there, okay? That right there is enough, okay? If there's one affair that is very short and comes to an end, and there is taking responsibility and apology and a clear effort to work on the relationship, that's one thing. But if your marriage is going through, quote, an insane number of affairs, I'm sorry, but continuing to stay in that marriage, I don't feel bad for you. If you're stressed out, if you're uncomfortable, if you don't feel secure in your relationship, if you're gonna choose to stay in that situation and act like it's a good thing, that's lame. I don't have respect for that. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. Next, addictions. Okay, yes, absolutely. Stay with someone who's facing addictions. That works out well every time. Physical abuse. No, you should not stay with someone if there is physical abuse. Okay? Mental abuse, verbal abuse, trust issues, communication issues, financial abuse, intimacy issues, identity issues, anxiety through the roof. Y'all clearly hate each other. Why do you want... When people admit that they're going through that much, but then still want to try to save the marriage, that's crazy to me. Have some self-respect. I'm sorry. And most of the people who are religious and have this, divorce is bad and it's something we can't do mentality, that are upset that their marriage failed, they sometimes want their partner back. But if you really listen to their reasoning, it's usually a matter of, I wish I hadn't failed at my marriage. It's not a matter of the things that matter. I wish we treated each other well. I wish we got along better. I wish we worked through these things. No, it's just the status. I wish I still maintained the status of being married. I don't have respect for that. That's not a respectable thing to me. So their ad continues. So we are going to give you our training on the 4 steps you need to save your marriage in 8 weeks. Okay, so the reason they'll usually put that kind of wording on these ads is because it's effective. What problem is this going to solve for me in what time frame? I get that. But if you're dealing with, what did they say? Physical, mental, verbal, financial abuse, communication issues, trust issues, intimacy issues, identity issues, an insane number of affairs, if you've got all that going on, you're probably going to need more than 4 steps, and it's probably going to take more than 8 weeks. So sorry. So sorry. Now listen, we want to be very clear. This is a 1-hour, in-depth, free training we put together for you, not free coaching from us. That is different. If you want private coaching from us, then there is a cost to get to work with us. This in-depth free training is probably horrible, but honestly, the ad is bad enough. This is not for you if Obviously, this is not for you if you're not willing to live outside your comfort zone. Yeah, I'd say being abused and cheated on is outside most people's comfort zone. The reason it's outside most people's comfort zone is because it's unacceptable and not something you should just tolerate for the sake of being married. What is wrong with straight people? This is not for you if you are not willing to take feedback and you want someone to coddle you. How much you want to bet this feedback is tolerate whatever misbehavior from your spouse we decide you need to tolerate. That's the feedback. Like, it's okay to have self-respect. That's not someone coddling you. This is not for you if you're not willing to take 100% responsibility for your life. If you have the marriage these people are describing and you're choosing to stay in it, then yes, you're responsible for that choice. I don't feel sorry for you. If you have a can't mindset, then this is not for you. There are times when it's okay to walk away. There are times when you should walk away. I don't care if anybody thinks that crosses the line. People should not have to tolerate abuse to be married. They shouldn't. Give me one reason why we should support heterosexual marriage in our society when this is the nonsense that so many people go by. So if you are serious and you want to go from roommates to teammates in 8 weeks and save your marriage without counseling or therapy, even if you're on the brink of divorce, then click below to learn. I mean, aside from the very serious issues, it's just a cringy ad overall. But cringe is not my concern here. They're encouraging people to stay in a marriage that is inherently dangerous to them. And that shit pisses me off. Do not encourage people to stay in a dangerous situation. And it gets even worse. They list some more things they were experiencing. Depression, suicidal issues, a ton of triggers. I'm sure we're forgetting something. We were told by everyone, including Christian counselors, to end it back then. Honestly, that's kind of, even today, still somewhat uncommon. So I will give props to those Christian counselors because they clearly saw some flags and were like, hey, let's make sure these people live. You know, we might not be a big fan of divorce, but let's make sure people leave this situation alive. Listen to this next sentence. We hated each other to the point we thought about ways to kill each other. Let me be abundantly clear to you. If your spouse has thought about a way to kill you, or you have thought about a way to kill them, that is a perfectly appropriate situation to end a marriage and leave. If you are to the point you're actually thinking about how you could do it, get out. Get out. Get out. Stop listening to these morons that are telling you that you are obligated, per God, to be in this miserable marriage that makes you want to die every day. Why is gay marriage so bad when this is the stuff we see from straight people? Like, you can't be serious. We tried everything out there and we were beyond tired of the emotional roller coaster from hell. You could have gotten off of it. You could have gotten off of it, but you chose to continue down that path. So, spare me the BS. I don't feel sorry for you. You may feel like you have tried everything you know to fix it, and you might be at your rope's end. We get it. We tried things like books, like the Love Dare, Love Languages, Love and Respect. Tactics, like slow to speak and quick to listen. We went to a ton of different counselors where we got into our feelings, but left with no action steps. Therapy, I think, is widely overrated just because people present it as a one-size-fits-all solution, and therapy is not right for all couples. And on top of that, even if therapy is right for you, it's really a matter of finding the right person for you. So I think people look at therapy as something that's going to fix their life, and I get feeling that way, and I get wanting that solution. But therapy is not necessarily everyone's answer. They are band-aids. They give, if any value, little nuggets that slap a band-aid over a gushing infected wound. If you ever feel the need to describe your marriage as a gushing infected wound, I don't know, maybe don't be married anymore. It's just, you hear straight people who insist that divorce is wrong and something they can never do. But then you hear all these sob stories and it's just like, I don't feel sorry for you. You've chosen this path. You can sleep in the bed that you made. I don't care that your marriage is hard sometimes. If it's too hard for you, don't be in it. Marriage is not for everyone. Religion tries to convince people that everyone should be married, everyone should have a spouse, everyone should be in these situations, and no matter how bad it gets, you should stay married. That's not realistic. And as frustrating as this subject is, it's even more sad when you know someone could potentially be in danger and they will still tell you that it's wrong to leave. In short, they do not build real foundations at all and leave you stuck and struggling on an emotional roller coaster with little to no hope left. Did Katie Britt write this? Because this is just rife with drama. You must build the right foundation in 4 key areas. We have cracked the code on saving your marriage after helping hundreds of couples all around the world with a 98% success rate. If y'all dumbasses are out here tolerating multiple affairs, verbal abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, stress through the roof, then no, I would not turn to you for advice on anything. Like, get some self-respect. Like, why should being straight mean that you should have to just accept that you're just gonna suffer forever? I don't get it. Honestly, if you guys do everything we tell you, then it's a done deal and you will never need us or anyone else ever again. That's just a bullshit statement right there. That's just an ad being an ad. You might have tried other things, we get it. However, just because you get food poisoned once does not mean you don't ever eat again. I mean, it's true. We don't promise a unicorn and deliver a donkey. We deliver a whole herd of unicorns. Oh wow, a whole herd of unicorns. Okay, there's a sentence. There's nothing else like this out there, period. So the funny thing is, I did a reaction video to a Michael Knowles video. It wasn't about marriage specifically, it just had to do with kind of relationships in general. There was something wrong with the footage, I have to re-record it. But anyways, ever since then, I've been getting non-stop ads on how to fix my marriage. I'm not married. But I just find it hilarious that suddenly so many care about the state of my marriage. Being married should not mean that you have to tolerate any amount of suffering that the other person wants to dish out on you. And even if the other person is not specifically consistently doing things to antagonize you or hurt you or disrespect you, like there can be a lot of situational things that are a strain on your marriage too. And don't get me wrong, if you have a healthy marriage, it is admirable to honor your vow and to remain married until you die. But if you don't have a healthy marriage, you don't have a healthy marriage. Encouraging people to stay in situations that are clearly dangerous for them is so morally repugnant. There's just no justification for it. And for anyone who thinks that my perspective on this is a little shallow, well guess what? Look at all these people trying to profit off of people's pain. That's shallow. A blatant divorce is wrong under all circumstances mentality has hurt so many people. And if you're just not willing to recognize that, then I think you need to think about some things. Staying in a marriage that is bad for you is not okay. It's not a good thing to do. It might feel good if you feel like you're doing the right thing, and don't get me wrong, I'm not encouraging anyone who's frustrated in their marriage to just give up and walk away. You know, give some thought to it. But especially if you're in a situation where you know the marriage cannot be saved, where you know there's irreparable damage, where you know someone's just going to keep cheating on you, if you know that you're in an unsafe situation, do not listen to these people who tell you that divorce is bad and therefore not an option. Your safety and your well-being matters. And if your spouse is someone who doesn't respect that, then they shouldn't be your spouse. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed this video, have this video, or even just a quarter of this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe.